In this video I'm going to show you how to set up the Planning2Assessment tool. To start with, I am logged into Glow, and within Glow I'm logged into Google Drive, and on the Plan2Assess Glow website I'm on the Planning2Assessment page. So if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, there are a set of links under Download and Setup. So I'm going to start by opening most of these links. So I'm going to download planning sheet, I'm going to download the assessment form, I'm going to download the assessment sheet, download pupil data, and download the setup instructions. Go to the instructions, and I'm going to just work through these instructions, and at the end of this process you'll have a working tool. The first thing is to make copies of the four files. These four files here, and this is why you need your Google Drive open. I've got Google Drive open here, so make a copy of the pupil data for teacher. Now this copy is going to load into the default folder of my Google Drive, so I'm going to want to move it and rename it. So you can see there it's in my drive. I want it to go into my Plan2Assess Glow folder, and actually I want to make a new folder which I'm going to call Demonstration. So click on Create and then Move, and I'm going to rename it. I'm just going to, now I'm going to do the same with the other three documents. So Assessment Class 1, make a copy, and again Move. I'm going to click on that and click Move. And again, rename the file, and then this one, Assessment Class 1, this is the form. Now this will come up missing file upload folder. You can just click Restore and move to folder, move into Demonstration, and again rename it, and then Planner, I'm going to move that again, and rename. So if I go to that folder that I've created, so Demonstration, I've now got these four files, so I'm now ready to set up. We're going to link the pupil data for teacher to the assessment form. So I've got a new list of pupils here. They're already in alphabetical order, and I'm going to remove the existing pupils, and I'm going to paste in my new pupils, and I'm going to open up extensions and apps script. It's not as scary as it looks. I'm going to open this just now. It opens a new tab. Now this string, it corresponds to the ID of your Google form, which is this string here in the Google form. So it's the code between the d/ and then the /edit at the end. If you highlight that bit of code, copy, and then go back into the app script and then paste that in there, and then save it. Close the app script window, go to update forms up here, update class 1, runs the script. The first time you run any of these spreadsheets, it will ask for authorization. Click OK, choose an account. This will come up with your own account, your Glow account. So click on your account name, and what it's generally asking you for is permission to change information in the files. It's not going to change any information in the files on its own. It will only change information in the files when you change information. I'm going to run that again. So finish script, there's a wee pop-up comes up here, Google form updated. I'm going to go back to this form here, and you can see that I now have my new list of pupils in the form. Now we're going to link the assessment form to the assessment spreadsheet, which is this sheet here. There's a couple of settings we need to check in the assessment form first of all. So I'm going to go into settings from these three links along the top, click on settings, and under responses, allow response editing, that's on. And then further down under presentation, show link to submit another response, that's this one here, make sure that's switched off. And then go into questions. It's important that you don't delete or change any of these questions that are on the form. If you do that, the form won't work. Down at the bottom, we're going to delete this evidence upload question, and we're going to replace it with a new evidence upload question. Control and C to copy evidence upload, and then I'm going to delete this question. And now I'm going to recreate that. So the question is Control and V, evidence upload, and then what type of question is it? It's a file upload question, so click on file upload. Change some of these settings. Maximum number of files, I set that as 10, and then maximum file size, I set that to 100 megabytes, and then this form can accept up to 1 terabyte of files, 1 terabyte as opposed to 100 gigabytes. I'm going to click back onto questions, scroll down to the bottom, view folder. This is the folder that any images or videos that you save are going to go into. This has just been created by the Google form. Take the ID of this folder, so that's everything after folders slash this string of letters and numbers there. Go back into the assessment form, and at the top right there's these 3 dots. I'm going to click on the dots and come down to script editor. The only thing we need to change here is this string top folder ID. I'm going to highlight it and paste in my evidence folder. The other thing we need to do is create a trigger, so every time the form is used, this script is activated. So to do that, I'm going to click on to triggers over here, which is this little clock symbol beside the word triggers. Select event type, this is the thing we're changing. Click on this and change that to on form submit. Click on save. So again, because this is the first time I've run this file, it's asking for permission to speak to the file. I click on my name there, come down to the bottom and press allow, and then that's run the script. I'm going to go back to the editor, which is these 2 little brackets. The last thing to do here is to save the project. Now go back to the form, and I'm going to link the form to the spreadsheet. So under responses, where it says link to sheets, I'm going to click link to sheets, and I'm going to select an existing spreadsheet, and it is this one here, assessment class 1. Okay, so I'm going to click on that, and you'll see down the bottom there's a new tab has been created. It's called form responses, and I'll have a number after it. I need to get rid of this assessments tab and replace it with the form responses tab. So I'm going to right click on the assessments tab and choose unlink form, delete the tab, and I'm going to rename form responses 14 as assessments, making sure it's got a capital A, no space at the end. And that's us done this bit. The next thing to do is to reconnect the assessments tab to the other tabs in the workbook. In the dashboard, cell A6 has an error. Double click that and press return. Now I'm going to click onto tracking assessments, and cell A1 has an error which we need to resolve. Click on edit. There was a problem. Okay, in the pivot table editor on the right hand side, you can type this in. I'm going to type in assessments exclamation mark B colon C, capital B capital C, and then press return. This doesn't look like very much at the moment, but when you start adding assessments, this will grow and expand and will track the assessments that you create. Form input. So for this we need the assessment form, so I'm going to open the assessment form again. I'm going to copy this code here, go back to the assessment form, and then the form ID, I'm going to paste that in. For the pre-filled form ID, we need to go back to the assessment form and the 3 horizontal buttons on the top right hand corner. Click on that and then click on Get Pre-Filled Link. This brings up a version of the form that a user would see. Now I'm just going to click into each of these and add some text. And then I'm going to click Get Link at the bottom. On the bottom left, click on Copy Link. And then I'm going to highlight and paste in that copied link. And this brings up a version of the form. I'm going to open up a notepad, paste in I'm just going to break it down a little bit into these different entries. This code here equals Dolph Starbeam, so that's the pupil name. The next code down equals the curriculum area. The next code down is experiences and outcomes, and so on. Now these codes here, ending in 187, 318, 940, they correspond to, go to the correct place, they correspond to these codes here. So you don't actually need to change these codes. You can just leave them as they are. But for the pre-filled form ID, we're going for this bit here in between E/ and /view form. So that bit there, control and copy that, and then highlight inside the pre-filled form ID box, paste it in there. The next stage is setting up the planning worksheet. The CFE tab connects to the form. The form ID and the pre-filled form ID, these are exactly the same as the IDs in the assessment sheet. So I'm just going to copy and paste those into there like so. These other codes you shouldn't need to change. The other thing to do in the form input screen is to copy and paste this spreadsheet ID, the bit of text between D/ and /edit. Copy and paste that into cell D12. If you do end up using named ranges, this becomes quite useful. Now click back onto CFE, and from the top menu click Setup. And there are 2 things to do here: generate assessment links and encode curriculum data. Now you can just click the first one and then click the second one. I'm going to just scroll along here so you can see what's actually going on. At the end of the data sheet, there's a wee arrow. If you click on that arrow, it says, heads up, you're trying to edit part of the sheet that shouldn't be changed accidentally. Edit anyway. Click don't show again for 5 minutes, which should be long enough for us to do this. And what this does is it opens up a bit of the spreadsheet. So I'm going to click on set up and generate assessment links. Now, because this is the first time I've done this, I'll come up with this authorization required again. So I'm going to click OK, and it asks for the account, and then it tells you what it wants to do. So having done that, I'm going to go back to Setup, Generate Assessment Links, and you'll see column T has been generated. And these links are all linked to the form. That's one of these pre-filled form links. But as you can see, nothing has been pre-filled. Back on CFE, click on Setup, Encode Curriculum Data. It takes the data from the first half of the spreadsheet and it manipulates it in a way that can be used in the form. So generating the curriculum data creates this link in column B. So if I now click on one of these links, if we go to the assessment sheet and go into dashboard, this information is now in here. Let's go back to the planner and hide these columns. So I've just highlighted, I can do a drag, I can drag along the top, hide columns. go back to assessment. The last thing you need to do is go to the setup menu, and there are 5 links in the setup menu, and you need to run them in order. You need to be in the assessments tab, and then run through these in order. Generate edit links first of all, because this is the first time I've run this. It says authorization required. Click on name, click allow, and run that again. So setup menu, generate edit links. You can see in row J, column J, this edit links button has appeared, and there's a link has appeared under there as well. You also get a pop-up message. Number 2, encode records. This is giving you the ability to duplicate an assessment. So if you, number 3, generate duplicate links. So if you look in column K here, that's appeared. Number 4, add links to dashboard, and then update filters. And you can see that Janie Powell has been added and literacy has been added. As you assess your pupils, they will appear in column A, and as you assess different curriculum areas, they will appear in column B. They also appear in, if we go to the dashboard, you can see that the edit assessment link now works, as does the duplicate assessment work. Select pupil, you've got Janie Powell, and you've got literacy. You should need access to the assessments sheet, so you can hide that. Just right click and hide the sheet, and that keeps that safe. You might want to do the same to the form input as well. Just hide that. If we go into the planner as well, form input, again let's hide this. I think we're done.